Hello friends, welcome to Suresh Agarwal's Mathematics Shortcuts. Yet another important chapter of class 10th Mathematics. And this chapter is the chapter on probability. You know why I call this as important? Because students tend to take it lightly, and more often than not the silly mistakes which creep in the examination is in this chapter only. Probability. No calculations, no huge formulas, just the concept and you get through, and still so many errors in the chapter. So watch the entire video. I'm going to tell you all the general concepts of the chapter and take up very simple problems of basic probability, and in subsequent videos we will have more challenging problems also, right? Before I take up the questions, let me tell you about the Learning Loop app which we have launched very recently. And that Learning Loop app contains very nominal costing validity based ebooks, video courses. Class 6 to class 10 we have video courses, Vedic maths courses, science courses. Lot of stuff is there on the Learning Loop app. Download it now from the Google Play Store. The link is given here in the description box below. This is the logo of the app, and you can enjoy some free videos also on the app, right? So let's get on with the concept. So the concept and some important terms in probability. The first term is experiment. What do you call an experiment? See, experiment is a kind of activity, okay? But every activity you do will be called as an experiment if it has some defined outcomes, okay? So activity with defined outcomes. Now this is really important. Now what do you call defined outcomes? Means you can tell what will be the possibility of happening of something. So if I toss a coin, I know that it is going to result either in head or tail. So the two outcomes are defined. If I throw a dice, 1 2 3 4 5 6, those are the numbers which may turn up, and that is why it is an experiment. Likewise, you can have so many hundreds and hundreds of examples of experiments, and so many examples where the activity is not an experiment. Like suppose I say selecting a smart student from the school. Now who is smart? For everyone the definition of smartness will be different, and that is why the outcome will not be defined, right? So that is not an experiment. Selecting a smart student or selecting an intelligent student, selecting a creative student, those are not defined. They don't have defined outcomes, and that is why they are not experiments. So for an activity to be an experiment, it has to have some defined outcomes, right? So what is a sample space? Very important term in probability. Sample space is the set of all outcomes, possible outcomes which are related to an experiment. So if we list down all those outcomes in a set and put them in a set, that set is known as the sample space for the experiment, right? Very important thing. And then we have event. Event is actually a conditional statement. That means a statement in which there is some kind of condition given. So if I say I throw a dice and I get a prime number, now that's an event, because throwing a dice is an experiment, but getting a prime number, so what did I do? I imposed a condition that the number I should get is a prime number, and that is why getting a prime number is called an event associated with the experiment of throwing a dice, right? I hope you understand what is an event. So conditional statement. So if I say in the same experiment, if I say I should get a number divisible by 3, so I have put a condition that the number can only be 3 or 6, and therefore it is an event, okay? So that's called an event. After that we have the favorable outcomes. So there are some outcomes which favor the event, like I said 3 and 6, they favor the event that the number is divisible by 3, right? So probability of an event. Now this is what we have to lead to, right? Probability of an event. We find the probability of an event always, okay? And that is denoted by PE, probability of the event. And we calculate it as how many outcomes satisfy the condition given in the event. That means they are called the favorable outcomes. Favorable outcomes. And how many outcomes are possible, that means in the sample space, the set of all possible outcomes, so total outcomes. And when you divide these two, you get the probability of an event, and this is the only formula rather in class 10th, rest depends on your understanding, okay? So let's see some of the questions now based on probability of an event. A coin is tossed twice. Now that is important. When you toss a coin twice, the sample space S is either you get both head, you get one head, one tail, you get one tail, one head, or you get both tails. Now these are the 4 possible outcomes. Now in the first part, he is asking us to find the probability of getting 2 heads. So where are 2 heads? Here we have 2 heads. Here we have only one head, 0 heads. So there is only one favorable case out of a total of 4 possible cases. Therefore, the probability of getting 2 heads is 1 out of 4. Likewise, in the second part, he is asking us to find the probability of at least 1 head. Now, the knowledge of little bit of English is also important in finding the probability. You should know what do you mean by at least 1 head. At least 1 head means the outcome should have at least 1 head. It should be visible in the outcome. Okay. So he has put a condition on the lower limit. That means at least 1 lower limit, but it can be at most any number, right? So it can be 2 also. So whenever he says at least, it means minimum. Maximum limit is not fixed. And so this also has at least 1 head because there are 2. This also has at least 1 head. This also has at least 1 head. This doesn't have at least 1 head. And therefore 3 favorable out of a total of 4 gives us the answer as 3 by 4 for this second part. The third part is pretty elementary. He says what is the probability of getting no head? And no head means what? Head should not be visible. No head is only in this, both tails, and there is only 1 case out of 4. So the probability is 1 by 4. I hope you understand the concept of probability now, and we can solve some more problems. Okay, let's see the second one. A die is thrown. So what is the sample space? Sample space, as you know, in case of the throw of a dice is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can get any number out of these 6 cases. So the total number of outcomes is 6. Now he is asking us to find the probability of getting, in the first part, number less than 3. Less than 3. So which are the numbers which are less than 3? It is 1 and 2. And there are 2 favorable cases out of a total of 6 cases, giving us 1 by 3 as the probability of this particular event. Likewise, in the second part, he says what is the probability of getting a composite number. And now the trick, composite number. You know, so many of the students will get confused here. What are composite numbers? The numbers which are not prime are called composite. But remember, 1 is neither prime nor composite. Be very careful there, okay? So you will not count 1. We will not count 2 because this is prime. We will not count 3 because this is prime. Yes, we will count 4 because it is composite. Not count 5 because it is prime. Yes, we will count 6 because it is composite. And therefore, there are only 2 composite numbers out of a possible of 6 cases. So 1/3 again is the probability of getting a composite number. See, that is why you need to be really careful in answering the probability questions, and that will help you in reducing the number of errors. Let's see this one. So a die is thrown twice. Now what is the sample space? Now watch out. 1 1 on both dice, 1 2 1 3 1 4 1 5 1 6, and likewise I'll change the number on the first dice, 2 1 2 2 up to like this 2 2 6, and then keep on changing like this, 3 1 3 4 1 5 1 6 1 and up to 6 6. So what do you think? How many possible cases are these? 6 in each row and 6 rows. So total cases are 36. So you should know, whenever you throw a dice 2 times, or you're tossing it 2 times, you get 36 cases. And what are the 36 cases? Now in the first part he is asking us the probability 5 will come up at least once. 5 at least once. I'll write short. At least once. So that means the number 5 should be visible. At least I told you it can be more than once also. Okay, so 5 should be visible. Now where is 5? 1 5. Likewise in the row containing 2, let's list them down here. 1 5, 2 5, 3 5, 4 5, and now what about the row containing 5? 5 1, 5 2, 5 3, 5 4, 5 5, 5 6. So 5 1, 2, 5 6. These are 6 cases. And then the row containing 6, 6 5. These are the possible favorable cases. How many are these? 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. These are 6 cases. So 5 plus 6, 11 cases where you find a 5, and therefore 11 out of 36 is the required probability. Likewise, if you are asked to find the probability that 5 will not come up either time, probability no 5, no 5, this is not number 5, I'll remove the dot, this is no 5, that means I should not find a 5 in the outcome. See, this is now dependent on the first experiment. The experiment was throwing a dice 2 times. What was the event here? The event was probability of getting 5 at least once. And at least once means all those where you find a 5, right? Either once or twice. Others will be the ones where there will be no 5. So what do? You subtract 1 minus, subtract what? Probability of at least 1 5. And you get your no 5. So 1 minus 11 by 36. And when you subtract this, 36 minus 11 is 25. So 25 by 36 happens to be the correct answer. So there will be 25 cases where you will not find a 5 among these 36 cases. Okay. Now there are so many questions based on playing cards also. I think that's a very basic thing, because if you know the details of playing cards, 26 red, 26 black, and then 26 red contains 13 hearts and 13 diamonds, then 13 spades and 13 clubs, and then face cards, non-face cards, those details. If you know them, the simple problems on cards are not going to be difficult. And apart from that, you have the number based questions. From among the numbers from 1 to 100, a number is selected, and what is the probability that it is a perfect square, right? So all those things are also there. The worksheet contains everything. This is just a gist of what kind of simple problems you may get. So watch for the next video which I will be posting very shortly, and you have to complete probability in a comprehensive manner. They are not taking it lightly. Okay, so do share this video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching this video, and all the best for your practice.